Hi, I'm Jason, Community Outreach Coordinator for our project. I'm pleased to meet with you all today. I've been working with this program since I was a senior at UNCG and I've stayed on ever since. I'll be functioning as our group leader and facilitator today.
Hi, I'm Amanda, a director and volunteer for Student Leaders for Service under the umbrella of the Community Outreach Program. Our mandate consists of finding placement for students with nonprofit organization and public assistance programs.
Hi, I'm James, and I work as an internship coordinator within this program. We help our graduates into the workforce by engaging local businesses and seeking out promising internships.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I work as a community event planner for the project. We attend local events, promote the university all over the Triad area. We participate in as many of these events as possible, not only be a part of the greater community, but to attract more prospective students to UNCG.
Thank you so much, all of you, for your service within our program. We're hoping to really widen the scope of the program in the coming year, and I'll need your help in deciding the sessions that best reach our targeted goals. There have been some difficulties as I know the budget is extremely tight this year, and each part of our organization has its own struggles because of this. Various sessions and programs were underfunded last year, and I know each of you felt this at some point or another. Before we get into discussing sessions, we need to make sure that everyone feels supported. Each of you has been a vocal proponent for your particular arm of the community outreach project, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind sharing how our budgetary concerns have affected you this year. Amanda, would you mind starting us?
Sure, Jason. We rely on meet and greets to introduce our students directly to figures in the nonprofit world. No one wants to put on an excessive show, but our budget is so high that it's hard to put out enough refreshments, especially with our high print costs. It's hard to put something together like this with bargain bin snacks and drinks. I just feel like it makes us look bad.
Wow, I didn't know it was that bad. Thank you for sharing. What if we reframe this as a refreshment problem and not a budgetary issue? We could get creative. I can look into donations from the establishments and food trucks on campus if it would help you, for example.
It would. Thank you.
Jennifer, would you like to go next?
I'm mostly frustrated because there's a lot of interest in our outreach that we're not able to meet. The university has helpfully provided us with merchandise to give out, and we've been unable to connect with many local conventions, concert venues, and art projects. We need more ability to acquire funds to get students to these events. If we can, I think we would see more outreach if we were able to do so. We'd also like to be able to cover more ticket costs and venue costs.
I've seen the part of your project expanding rapidly, and that's a good thing. When we have more demand than supply, I know it can be frustrating. Thank you so much. James, what about your arm of the project?
We've got high travel costs as we're often trying to visit local corporations directly, tour their facilities, and make connections. Most of my volunteers are paying out of pocket for sit down meals with prospective corporations or traveling on their own time. We'd have more volunteers if this wasn't the case and would be able to reach out to more possible partners.
I understand what you're saying, and I appreciate all the hard work you've put in. Your volunteers have been amazing. I understand we could all use more funds, and it's good to know that we're all struggling together. I know everyone has their stance on where available funds should go. Hopefully, working together today, we'll start moving down a path that will help us resolve the problem. Each of you has brought up extremely good places to start, and perhaps we can address them by working on strategy sessions. We think we'll have time for 4 sessions about midway through the semester. Does anyone have any thoughts or suggestions for the sessions?
I have one. Based on what you mentioned earlier, maybe one of our sessions could involve advan- advancing the thinking of the snack issue that Amanda is having. If we do reframe it as a refreshment issue, maybe we can gather to come up with ideas for thinking around the problem. The first thing that comes to mind is asking the campus businesses and local food trucks to donate. For example, we can let everyone contribute, going around the room and offering suggestions with new definition of the problem.
I like that idea, and I can see people coming to solutions that would expand our outreach into other areas.
What about a session that is devoted to getting more companies coming to us rather than seeking them out ourselves? That would definitely help with the internship expansion. I know other universities have had a lot of success in this. Maybe we could find a program that's working and get a guest speaker to come in.
Well, that's a thought. What sort of information would you be hoping for the speaker to give?
Specifically, I'd like to hear what techniques were used to attract businesses. I want to know what kind of medium was used to attract interest with the most success. Right now, we're mostly using social media and digital means of distribution. Besides the hands-on work that my group does, there might be other methods I'm not considering.
That sounds like a great idea, James. We don't have to work on the issue ourselves if there's already a good model.
I could agree to that, but I think we'd only have time for a single speaker. James and Jennifer seem comfortable with the idea, but we might be missing something. Do you have an opinion on a potential speaker, Amanda?
I could go along with that. It mostly promotes James's specific group, but it does sound like a good idea. I think what benefits one of us eventually helps us all.
I can definitely agree with that. Well said. Well, that's two sessions we have ideas for. Does anyone have another?
Well, we obviously need more fundraising. That should be the focus of one of the sessions. I know we've tried t-shirts and drives before, but it feels like we need something new.
That seems like something we could do by simply listing ideas and seeing what sticks. Maybe we could just have a session where everyone tries to bring new fundraising concepts to the table. It's pretty straightforward, I think.
You're right. We just need the ideas. Figuring out how to actually use them would come after. But we need to think outside the box. Great one. One more to go.
Maybe we could have a session to make ride sharing easier for students to find. We could let a few groups discuss it and we could see what we come up with. That would be helpful for everyone, I think.
Well, don't we need to present the actual budget that we have? We need to know where we're at if we are mostly covering fundraising.
She has a valid point to an earlier issue. We've mentioned transportation problems a couple times. The budget does need to be the concentration, but like Amanda said, if we help one area, it'll trickle down to the rest. Jennifer, would it be possible to push that to a point outside of these four sessions?
I see James' point. Then an overview is critical. Presentation and report should come first. I can go along with that, but we need to mull over the transportation issues.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I agree with you that we shouldn't forget the possibilities you mentioned. So, if I'm hearing everyone correctly, our focus will be on fundraising. This is the order that makes sense to me for those sessions, okay? First, we'll present the budget we have and maybe talk about where we want to go. Next, perhaps Amanda's idea about finding some new fundraising techniques. Then we'll move to the specific issue of thinking more adroitly about refreshments, reaching out to possible donors. Finally, we'll have a guest speaker come in to advise us how to attract more corporations to the program for possible internships. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Does this sound reasonable to everyone?
No, I think that works for us.
I think we can be a little more focused, but I'm happy with it. I think it'll benefit us overall.
sounds great.
Thank you all for your contributions. You get out there each and every day for this organization, and I appreciate your professionalism. Hopefully, with more funding secured, we'll be able to expand our community outreach efforts.